Ladies and gentlemen, you are now rocking with the King Indeed. 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 You are now rocking with the King Indeed.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Is that KiD K.I, also known as ZoeRaldo, also known as the Gray Haired Bandit from TheKingIndeed. We are here now, live, right now, Mr G's studios, brought to you by Mr G's Media. Oh, we have a special treat for you guys right now. OTSS is all I got to say. Only the strong survive. Yes, indeed. Geronimo. Only the strong survive. 7 years in the box. The box. That's what inspires you to do OTSS. Let the people know, understand everything you're talking about when it comes to that. What the box is, talk to us, please. Yes, indeed.
First and foremost, it's my pleasure being here. OTSS was started in a special housing unit, SHU, also known as the whole, the box. And basically what that is, it's a 24-hour lockdown. It's almost something considered being inside of jail while in jail. There's a system set in while in prison. I mean, if you break an infraction or if you don't follow the rules, there's a possibility that you can lead your way onto the box. For guys that commit the worst crimes while inside the prison, normally the ones that gets the lengthy time. I was one of the guys that was involved in like several different things, you know, violently, you know, whether if they were slashings, you know, assaults on staff, you know, stabbings, and, you know, time accumulated.
Now wait a minute, sir. Slashings and violent crimes? So this is not a political thing here. So you're admitting right now on this site, TheKingIndeed, Mr. G's Media, that you deserve to be in the box? Be real, brother.
I mean, when you look at it and when you see what the box is set up for, then yeah, I would say like the actions that was displayed by me, yeah, it warrants me being in the box. The amount of years I can, you know, debate about some of the, you know, the treatment and then, you know, the things that comes with being a boxer we consider cruel and use of punishment. But yes, for the most part, yeah, for some of the things that I was doing out in the general population warranted me to be inside the SHU.
All right, so how did Only the Strong Survive come about while you're in the box? I mean, I don't understand, brother. Please, let people want to know. Yes, indeed.
Only Strong Survive was a movement that came about based off the things that I went through, my life, my experiences while inside the prison. And basically there's a movement of basically saying that we're gonna get over anything. We're gonna overcome any obstacles. We're gonna burn down anything that's in front of us, stereotypes, etc. And I just found the way through, you know, being a boss. I didn't allow that time to like overwhelm me. So I just like reached out in my inner self, you know, starting to like to read, you know, and just doing a bunch of studying.
I can feel the pain in your voice. Listen to me, it's not me trying to smile at you. I'm smiling because I'm happy. I know you personally. You've been through a lot. It takes a lot of courage for individuals to come out here right now to put everything on the line. But this is TheKingIndeed, Mr. G's Media. We not cleaning this up. This ain't Snow White and the Seven Doors. This is the real, dog. Let the people know what's going on, man. You was a badass. You was a brat. You was slashing, killing people. Let them know, dog. There's nothing wrong with it. You're not a slave of your past, brother. You are not a slave of your past. Let them know you did something negative to bring something positive. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah. I just don't want to seem like I'm glorifying, you know, because a lot of that, you know, it can be taken as glorifying. So but for the most part, it's not. I was convicted of several crimes that kept me inside the box. And this is all based off the fact that, you know, me being a gang leader at that time, the gang that we're talking about are the Bloods, and the things that was going on in prison, you know, the wars that was taking place between, at that particular point was, you know, the Bloods versus the Latin Kings, the Bloods versus Nietas, you know, the Bloods versus the guard bodies, the Bloods versus the Muslims, the Bloods versus the COs. You know, it was a lot, and it was really like going down, and I was like on the forefront of like everything. However, you know, them things been changed over into like the positive thing, and once again, I'm at the forefront of a lot of things too. I'm still leading by example, but in a positive light.
My question is, how did you even get part of that gang without incriminating yourself or anybody else, sir? Was it that you were looking for leadership? Because you was like a leader. You ain't just wake up and say, I'm the leader of the Bloods. You dig? Careful, we don't need to use nobody's names because we are not the feds here. All right, you dig? We are the real. I'm asking that because I need to understand, people have to understand your growth, where you came from the bottom to where you are right now, because you're doing something very positive. Why? Why join the gang of the Bloods, and why become the leader? Talk to us. And was it the box also? That's 3 questions I'm asking you. Was it the box that made you change your life?
The reason why that I joined the Bloods, it had anything to do with looking for leadership. It had nothing to do with looking for protection. It had nothing to do with other than the fact that for what it originally stood for, which was brotherly love, override oppression, and destruction. So when I came into it, you know, the message was way different than what it is now. You know, the message was like, listen, yo, we're brothers, you know, we blacks, Latinos, we gotta stick together. You know, it's for a better cause. You know, the Blood Nation basically kind of like derived from like the Black Panthers, especially out on the West Coast, because those was the movements that was going on back then in the 60s and the 70s. Speed up things until when I got a part of it was in the early 90s, is when it basically first hit Rikers Island in 1993. When it first came about, I didn't automatically grasp to it because I didn't understand it. I didn't know what it was about, and to be honest with you, I kind of kept it away from me because being from New York, Brooklyn, on top of that, I felt that wasn't nothing that New York City would follow behind. Like, we wasn't followers, we was trendsetters.
Right.
But as time went along, I started seeing, you know, togetherness. Brothers started, you know, coming together to fight like off oppression, whether if it was from another group of people attacking one group of people, or whether it was from the officers that was, you know, doing foul, dirty things to other prisoners.
But you had people out there doing $150s to civilians. Civilians means non-gang members, ladies and gentlemen, suborns and drunk ones, right? Were you a part of that, bro? That's a very important question. Think about what I just asked you, sir, with all due respect.
That was something that we heard about. Like, I want to say that started taking place, I want to say, like in the late 90s. I guess that's when like a few of the Bloods from inside started like tripling over out into the streets. But the things that was going on as far as like the senseless attacks against women, kids, the slashings, that was nothing that was coming from the inside. That wasn't a part of United Blood Nation. Mm-hmm. Them guys that was getting caught up and coming inside the system, they was being dealt with.
Bang.
Because
Bang.
That was something that was totally against what we stood for.
Yes, sir.
Remember, brotherly love, override oppression and destruction.
All right, well, you were in the box. Now, so for the third question that we haven't got to yet, you just woke up one morning and say, hey, I'm tired of being in this box. I'm tired of being in a hole where I get 1 hour to go out in 24 hours. That's it. I'm 23 hours in a hole. I'm tired of it. You just said, hey, only the strong survive. Did Jesus, a.k.a. Jesus, come out there and tell you? Let us know. People want to know. Yes, indeed.
Nah, basically, certain things still with me. Like, one of the ways I beat the box mentally was the fact that I had so many other vehicles to utilize. One of them was I just had a thing for reading, and that like kept my mind like going. I was always thirsty for knowledge, for information, so it kept me outside of that box, you know. So, when I put my mind to certain things and I started doing certain things, I started placing myself in other people's shoes, mainly like the people that ran the prisons, or mainly the people that invested in the prisons. Like, I kind of exchanged my life on the sense that I was like, what if I was doing this 20 years ago? I could have been this now. So I said, if I start this now, then maybe I can become a better person, a better me, a better version of me, yo. And I could take the things that we originally started that, well, this is for us to move ahead.
Why only the strong survive? You could have said anything. It could have been fuck the police. It could have been anything. Why? It could have been anything. Fuck the CEOs. Why only the strong survive? We want to know. Yes, indeed.
I mean, it's almost the definition within itself. Only the strong survive. I mean, it's just what it is. I mean, because when I was first putting it together, I was like, I'm gonna need some survivors, because life is not only about surviving, but you have to survive in order to see. You got to go through. You're gonna go through a bunch of things. Obstacles gonna be there. Like the stereotypes is gonna be there. Like you got to survive through it. And it's not just surviving physically, mentally, but you know, this thing could be spiritually, emotionally. Like you understand what I'm saying? Like you may get through something one way that may be different than myself. You may say, well, I'm gonna release my stress by working out. I'm gonna say, well, I'm gonna release my stress by praying.
Oh, you might release your stress by popping the cat. Let's keep it a buck.
Yeah, but we're talking about the aftermath, the things of what was the reasons as to why I formulate the positive movement. But yeah, and I just believe that, you know, it's just a better fit for the people, you know, like only the strong survive. Like it's almost like a thing of inspiration, if you asked me.
Absolutely. How are you able to survive 7 years in that box? 7 years. There's no telling what those CEOs were. Forget that. 7 years. You're out here, a couple of years out right now, you're home. Mentally, how are you? Do you have PTSD? This is raw, this is uncut. Let the people know. Real talk, man. Seriously, let us know. When you hear sirens, do you jump? 7 years, some guys can't do 30 minutes in the box, Playboy. Yes, indeed.
I mean, to be honest, other than the fact that I done still have like certain habits, like they're minor. Like I may go inside the shower and forget to take my drawers off, wash my drawers, and then hang them up on the, you know, on the shower rod.
Whoa.
Kid coming in, Daddy, you got your drawers hanging up. So you know, little habits like that.
Wowzers. Wowzers, wowzers, wowzers. Yes, indeed. Yeah, but do you have PTSD? We don't duck, we don't shuck and jive here. This is the real. Yes, indeed. Bang, let us know. For real, man. And I'm not, listen, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, so and drunk ones, I am not here to make a mock out of this gentleman right here. This is my brother right here. It's imperative that I suck it out. It's not easy for me to come out here and talk about it. You understand what I'm trying to say to you? But I need to know. All right, besides, that's minor PTSD. But like, when you hear sirens, when you see somebody in a uniform, like, do you feel like wailing on them? Like, talk to us. We want to know. Real talk, though, B. 7 years in the box. You acting like 7 years in the box, no problem. Think about it, dog. It's like being stuck in Russia somewhere. You dig? Back in the 80s, the Gorbachev days, in prison for 2 days. You ain't gonna make it out there. Yes, indeed. Do you have PTSD? It's imperative.
Brother, I am Mr. OTSS, man. If I'm telling you that none of that doesn't bother me, I carry this very well. If I don't open my mouth and tell people that I've been locked up, they wouldn't believe me. So what I'm telling you is like I carry this very well. So I'm not gonna say that I wasn't affected. It's just that it didn't affect me how it affect other people. Mentally, I believe that I'm very strong. If you was to ask me, I believe mentally, I believe I'm very strong. So a lot of people carry things on themselves. Like people, you could tell when somebody's stressed out, is bothering them. You could see a guy that has a lot of pride and ego. They wear a lot of these things on their shoulders. I'm one of them. I roll with the punch type guy. If you're saying, yo, we going flow, as long as that is good for the both of us, then I'm gonna go with it.
All right, not to be the dead horse. Not to be the dead horse right now. And I gotta ask this. If you were not in the box and you were just in prison, how much time you did?
All together, I wanna say I gave him like 19 years.
19 years. 19 years? Now, wait a minute, I didn't know that. I thought you walked in, slashed somebody, cut up a CO, they put you in the box for 7 years, you came home. 19 years? Wait a minute, brother. 19, you over here talking? Exclusively right now. ZoeRaldo, the Gray Haired Bandit got it right now. The King Indeed, Mr. G's video. Yes, indeed, Mr. G's media, we got this. 19 years in prison. In 7 years in solitary confinement? Come on, brother. Only the strong survive. Only you surviving, brother. We have to change this concept. Talk to about it, brother. 19 years? I had no idea.
I mean, without getting into like full details, because at the present moment that we're working with the book, the possibility of a documentary. The 19 years, brother, my first state bid, my numbers were 93A, 9185. Repeat it again, 93A, 9185. That was my first state document number from the Department of Corrections. So we talking about almost 30 years ago, if you want to be correct. But yeah, the SHU played a big part of everything. I think the SHU did change my way of thinking, and just my dealings of trying to become a better person within myself. And it wasn't even so much of me, because even with the gangs that I participated, it was always me leading by example. When I led by example, that means I was leading for someone. So the movement of OTSS is almost like a unification movement. Because anything I get involved in, I'm not just doing it for myself, because I came to realize that I can't get nothing done on my own.
Are you stating that you said HSU is what really helped you evolve? So are you stating that the correctional facilities actually works by putting people in the box? So put people in the box and they're gonna be reformed. That's what you're saying, sir? That's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like.
No, I mean, it depends on who the person is. I done met thousands of men inside the box. Everybody used their 24 hours different. I just chose to use mine wisely. I just chose to use mine to where it's like, this is something I don't want to become repetitive.
Only the strong survive. So now we understand right now. By now everybody understands what only the strong survive is. All right? It's obviously emotional, it's mental. But what exactly is it? Is it a clothing line? Is it a strip club? Is it a place where you can go like in AA? Like, the people want to know, like, what is only the strong survive? We know where it derived from. Yes, indeed. But what is it, sir? Yes, indeed.
I want to salute myself for LLC and the company. The company is multifaceted. We're going to indulge in different businesses, fashion, music, entertainment, like whatever it is, publishing. Like, I'm trying to come for it all.
Isn't that cliche? Because everybody says that. When they come home, yo, God, real talk, man. I'm gonna come home, I'm gonna do this, put you on, little G-Bo, and we gonna do this. Isn't that, why you? What makes you so special, sir?
I mean, it's nothing I have to do with special. It's that, like, when you come to a point in your life that you kind of know where you're heading and you just make things happen.
Only the strong survive. Let's talk about the book. What does that entail?
The book, I can guarantee the bestseller. The book entails basically my lifestyle, and not just my life, lifestyle of the urban communities of Black and Latino men, females that grew up inside these society that people like to call the American dream.
So basically, it's real.
Yes.
That's what you're saying. Basically, it's authentic and it's real. It's raw, it's uncut, right? How do we know that, sir?
I mean, this book definitely could be backed up by documentations that I still hold on to. There's many a men and women that's still alive that can contest to the things that I'm saying. It's going to be a beautiful experience. I believe that for the most part that it will be very, very well read book.
Why? What separates OTSS from any other clothing brand, from any other media company, from any other book deal? What separates you? Why should anybody give their hard-earned dollar, especially during these times right now, during a government-issued pandemic? Why?
It's not even so much about anybody giving their government-earned hard dollars for it. It's the message behind it, and then especially in times like this. Like I said, you know, only strong survive. Now, we come together and put our minds together and do things, and you know, and this is how we get around this pandemic. Within the last week, I want to say I had probably about 5 my co-workers call me just based off the fact they knew my past experience, and they called me and like, Damien, how do you deal with the lockdown? How do you overcome these things that most people would kill themselves over? People did so much things within these 14 days lockdown. So people done reached out to me like, how did I, knowing that I've done 7 years in the SHU, they reached out for me for that inspiration.
Were you innocent or were you guilty of these charges?
I'm gonna say that I was guilty of some of them. Some of them
Trumped up.
They was trumped up.
That's what ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm not trying to incriminate nobody. That's the point that I was making, because I know there's trumped up charges out there. They add a little bit of sauce to it right now. The fact that you're to me, the way I look at it is you're an inspiration. There's people out there that's gonna watch this that are still in the box. They'll watch when they come out. There's family members out there right now. You actually overcame all the adversity. Yeah, that's why I keep on talking about the PTSD thing. Not because I'm trying to beat a dead horse, because I'm inspired by how calm you are. Because when I first met you, I had no idea that you've been through this. You dig? What message do you want to give out to all your fellow humanitarians, fellow blood members, fellow gang members? You said what blood stand for. What does it stand for again?
Brotherly love, override oppression and destruction.
And I believe CRIP stand for Community Relations in Progress. That's back in the days in California. It was a positive, and people try to switch it to a negative, right? What type of message would you like to give the people out there right now on The King Indeed, brought to you by Mr. G's Media? Right now, it's showtime, brother.
I mean, to be honest, I believe that the gang is not the way to go. You shouldn't have to get a part of something and then get involved in things to realize I shouldn't have done it. If you understand what I mean. Like, you shouldn't have to be a part of something to be involved in it, to almost lose your life to wake up.
A wise gentleman back in the day stated that, you said the gang is not, I want to make sure the soundbite is correct. The gang is not the way to go, yes or no?
No.
A wise gentleman, rest in peace, stated once that the police ain't nothing but a gang. Rest in peace, Tupac Amaru Shakur. The police ain't nothing but a gang. You agree or disagree, sir? Be real. Come on now.
See, I'm not one of them guys that just jump into like what
I phrased it wrong. I phrased it wrong. I'm not saying for you to piggyback or be on somebody you deriding. That's not what I meant, sir. With all due respect, look at me, Geronimo. I respect you. I know your past. I respect you 100%, 1,000,000%. You're my brother. All right? Nobody can make me go against you. You dig? What I'm saying is, I said that to say this. It's easy for you, for me, the gentleman behind the camera, Mr. G, to say, nah, don't join the gang. Because the knowledge we have, our third eye is opened. Your third eye wasn't always opened. How do you stop a child? And I'm gonna say a child, I don't care if they're 14, 15, you're a child. Okay? How do you stop a child from not allowing any gang member to embrace them? How? The police department tells you, come in, great benefits, this and third, a pension. You see? Blood, Crip, Gang, Mieta, I don't care, Zopound, whatever. Come in, we're family. And it's legit too. They're not lying to you. Come in, we gonna come home. Right? You know that word. Come home, nigga, come home. Come home, you here. How do you expect a child, their mind is not, that's why they get them when they're young. Their mind is not developed. Okay? How do you, fully developed, I apologize. How do you expect them not to join a gang? How are you gonna say something? Is that not hypocritical on you, sir?
I'm only gonna deal with how my kids are. Somebody would look at me and be like, yo, this man done been through so much, stone cold murderer, gangster, and his kids. I have 4 kids.
God bless.
I have a son who just got accepted to HBCU, Delaware State University's full-blown scholarship. And also my 2 twin daughters, one was a valedictorian, the other one a salutatorian.
Wait a minute. Valedictorian and salutatorian? No, wait a minute. I don't know. Ignorant guy like me that obviously don't understand what that means. The valedictorian, I believe that's one of the smartest people in the class. Now, what's the salutatory? The person that uses salute all day long?
No, it's the second part, smartest person in graduation.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, sober ones and drunken ones that's tuned in right now. Did you hear that? We're talking about an OG, original gangster. We're not glorifying him, we're being honest. He broke the cycle. How could you not respect that, sir? How could anybody not respect that? That's why we're gonna buy the book, brother. How were you able to do that? Your parenting skills must have been crazy. Did you rule with an iron fist, or did you speak to them and not just yell at them?
It was a little bit of both, but I'm gonna give credit to my wife. She was solid. She stuck to the plan. I mean, it wasn't easy, and we just got it done. Even with me teaching the things that I was teaching them, I was still doing what I was doing. I just didn't want that life for them, because I knew eventually that I was gonna make a change with them myself, even though I was still kind of living a contradictory lifestyle. So basically, it was something as, don't do what I do, just do what I say. And it kind of worked out. But overall, my overall plan is just not for my kids. I'm talking about the kids, like, worldwidely. Like, OTSS is like a worldwide movement. Like, the things that's happening in the United States are going all over the country.
There's a gentleman named Mr. G, okay? Mr. G is how you and I got connected. What is the significance of Mr. G in your life, sir?
First and foremost, I would like to say that the significance that he have in me, which he probably won't know, is that I learned a little bit from him even when he wasn't aware that I was around. Meaning that he was a guy that I watched come in, be respected in the neighborhood that was extremely violent, and was able to do things like he will be considered like a role model in the hood. You know, for if they would say, well, you had to live like this to be successful, like he would be a guy from out that neighborhood. Like if they would have had to pick up 5 guys, like, well, these 5 people you have to follow, like he would be one of the men that they spoke about to follow.
So Mr. G wasn't with the shits when you guys was with the shits on the streets?
To be honest with you, he ain't have to.
Bang. Bang.
And that's just reality. But it just wasn't him. You had a few other brothers that was from the neighborhood that I watched. That as time go along, like when I got back to my senses and to the things that who's doing positive things, what's in this, when I reunited with him, I just knew that was like nothing was gonna be like, you know how some people, you start off with them and it's like they started off positive and they kind of like went sour. Like he wasn't a person that he was into still doing the same things from the things that I've heard from all the years that I was missing. He was basketball, entertainment, you know what I'm saying, family person, you know, things like that, you know, just good vibes.
Growing up, who were the guys that influenced you? I need to know that first. It's a part 2 question. You'll see why. Growing up, prior to you being locked up.
Some of the guys that inspired me, we're gonna say it was half and half because I was just like getting out there, like trying to find myself. It's like I wanted to do good because I still was going to school, I still was playing basketball. So when the school and the basketball thing, I had men like Mr. G. We just talking about my immediate neighborhood. You had a few other guys that lived that side of life. They came home, went to school, hung out a little bit, played ball, did what they had to do, and they took it back in.
During you being locked up, were they guys that you looked up to?
Yes. There was some other men that I looked up to, some other like-minded individuals that we were all on the same, on the same roller coaster mission to, make things better for ourselves and for the people.
How about when you came home, right now? Who you look up to right now?
I mean, to be honest, one of the best people that I gotta look up to right now is myself.
Bang! Bang, bang, bang. Because you derived. You came up from the bottom, right?
Yep. I would definitely say that I came up from the bottom.
What do you want everybody out there right now on Pluto and Mars? All right? That's what I do. I refuse. What we do with the King Indeed, what we do right now in Mr. G Media, we're not gonna limit ourselves just to the planet Earth. Oh no. We got all types of aliens listening to us right now. You may think it's a joke, but it's real. You dig? People thought it was a joke when they said Dr. Sebi could cure AIDS. And they said way back in the days, in the 80s, they thought it was a joke. Who's laughing now? I'm gonna be laughing at y'all right now. Right now, for all the aliens, the entire world, the universe, what do you want people to take away from this interview and Only the Strong Survive? You have the floor, sir. Yes, indeed.
I would like for the world and for those that's watching to take away from this interview that no matter what you go through in life, perseverance despite, all obstacles, it's only like the strong that's gonna, avail. I mean, I just want it to be one big, strong, like unity movement, especially like, the people of color, the blacks, the Latinos, like to come together and just like unite and just make one like big unity to where it's, positive. This thing is about the youth, like, for the kids. I just wanted everybody just be like almost like one big happy family.
Only the strong shall prevail. That's what you said earlier. Yes, indeed. What about the weak ones out there? Well, we got some suckers and some fakes and some snakes out there. What about those guys? What box you put them in? Yes, indeed.
I look at it like this. The strong is supposed to be there for the weak and not take advantage of them.
Bang!
Lead by example. Nobody gets left out.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, sober ones and drunk ones, aliens all across the universe, you will never find an interview as raw and authentic as this. Thank you, Mr. Geronimo. Thank you. That's right, Geronimo. You can say Damon all you want. I know you as Geronimo. Thank you for creating the Only the Strong Survive platform. The book is coming out. Thank you. Because there's some children out there right now that are looking at you right now and like, wow, you just inspired them. So the message is not to waste your time, don't join the gang, right? Unless you're the leader, right? Like you?
It's not even a leader, you know what I mean?
Bank. Yes, indeed. Thank you, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen.